Picture this. It's 7:30 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I'm stepping out of the shower, dripping wet, towel barely clinging to my waist. I'm thinking about coffee, maybe a bagel, normal stuff. Then, out of nowhere, my front door explodes off its hinges like it's auditioning for an action movie. I freeze, half naked, as three things I never expected to see come crashing into my life. A flying door, a woman in a fake military vest screaming citizens raid, and some guy in cargo shorts pointing a walkie-talkie at my toothbrush like it's about to confess to war crimes. I stand there, water pooling on the floor, watching a gang of retirement-age vigilantes stumble into my living room. They've got the tactical grace of a toddler's birthday party gone off the rails, tripping over my rug, yelling nonsense like "secure the perimeter." It's chaos, and I'm just trying to process how my quiet morning turned into a low-budget SWAT reenactment. Little did they know, they just kicked their way into an FBI live-fire simulation site. And little did I know, my Tuesday was about to become national news. Let me introduce you to the mastermind behind this madness, Karen. Every neighborhood has a Karen, but ours? She was a special breed. She wasn't just the HOA president. She crowned herself Supreme Commander of Community Peace Enforcement. Her words, not mine. In reality, she ran a glorified neighborhood watch she called the Community Response Patrol. Think fake badges, custom polos, and a homemade charter that read like a fanfiction mashup of Rambo and the West Wing. Karen's crew responded to everything. Dented mailboxes, suspicious garden sheds she swore housed cartels. You name it. A week before this mess, she'd zipped down the cul-de-sac on her electric scooter, handing out flyers titled Security or Chaos. Take your pick. Most neighbors ignored her. Me? I had bigger fish to fry, like coordinating a joint agency drill on my property. See, what Karen didn't know, and never bothered to ask, was that I'm a federal liaison for the FBI's local training division. That sketchy warehouse in my backyard? Not a man cave. It's a federally funded ops site for tactical simulations, weapons drills, and hostage scenarios. Classified, off-limits, and definitely not her business. But Karen's paranoia was a runaway train. She'd seen my dark SUVs, the constant UPS deliveries, tactical gear, not drugs, and one of our instructors unloading breach kits. In her mind, I wasn't a federal employee. I was a cartel kingpin. She never asked questions. She just let her imagination fester like mold until she decided it was time to act. So, how do we get from flyers to a full-on door-kicking raid? Karen pulled her team together like she was casting a community theater version of SWAT. There was Dale, a retired pharmacist obsessed with airsoft, Cheryl, armed with a clipboard and an untested taser, and Karen herself, rocking a reflective vest with Commander in glittery stickers, wielding a bullhorn like it was Excalibur. They waited for me to step out, 5 minutes tops, to grab a breakfast sandwich from the gas station. That's when they struck. I come back, sandwich in hand, and my front door's gone. Not open, not ajar, gone. Splinters trail into the foyer like breadcrumbs. Inside, I hear someone yell, "Clear the couch area." I walk in, calm as you please, because I know something they don't. This place is wired. Hidden cameras, motion detectors, silent alarms. The second they cross the threshold, alerts pinged me, my team, and the FBI's regional office. Karen's patrol is in position behind my furniture, shouting radio codes they clearly cribbed from Die Hard. One guy yells, "Tango in the kitchen," while pointing at my coffee maker. Another's holding a broom like it's an AR-15. Karen's mid-shriek when I step in, keys jangling, and say, "What in God's name?" "You're under community arrest," she bellows, cutting me off. "Get on the ground." I blink, not scared, just baffled. Before I can respond, the back door bursts open, not literally, but with that crisp, trained agent energy. 3 tactical officers storm in, weapons drawn, but not aimed, barking orders that freeze the room. Karen drops her bullhorn. Dale screams and dives behind a chair. Cheryl raises her clipboard like it's bulletproof. Then silence, thick, time-stretching silence. Agent Daniels, one of my guys, lowers his weapon slightly and looks at me. "Sir, you good?" I nod. "They broke in while I was out for breakfast." He turns to the patrol. "This is a federal training site. You just committed a serious offense. Remain still and await detainment. Game over, right? Not quite. Karen's face goes white as a sheet. Dale's walkie-talkie crackles weakly before he shuts it off and raises his hands. Cheryl faints against my kitchen island, clipboard clattering. The agents round them up. Calm, professional, no cuffs yet, just escorted outside for questioning. I step forward, sandwich still in hand, and lay it out. No, Karen, I'm not running a paramilitary outfit. I'm running a federal operation with full clearance. You just led an unauthorized entry into a live fire site. That's felony trespassing, obstruction of justice, and maybe domestic terrorism, depending on how the report's written. Karen's eyes widen, but she's not done. As they load her into a government SUV, she's yelling about her constitutional rights and deep state entrapment. The agent driving just sighs. Ma'am, you walked into a federal facility with a taser and a clipboard. That's not entrapment. That's a felony in khakis. Back at my place, neighbors are gathering, phones out, whispering. One agent mutters about my shattered door. That's coming out of somebody's pension. I take a bite of my sandwich and think, oh, this is just the beginning. Here's where it gets wilder. Turns out, one of Karen's crew, Bob, the quiet guy, was a retired ATF agent who'd joined her patrol out of boredom. He'd seen her spiral for a week. Secret meetings, militarized HOA bylaws, backyard hand signal drills. She convinced everyone I was a criminal mastermind, and when they kicked in my door, Bob knew exactly who to call. His secure line tip to the FBI, seconds after the breach, sped up the response. Without him, Karen might have stumbled into a room with live munitions. Lucky her. But Karen? She doesn't quit. 2 days later, my mailbox is stuffed with a packet labeled violation notices, urgent action required. Unapproved fencing, suspicious shed activities, excessive tactical camouflage netting. Oh, and my training facilities, an unpermitted structure. Then comes the email blast, danger in our midst, the truth about Lot 17. She calls me a militarized menace, claims the breach was a misunderstanding, and attaches blurry photos of agents unloading gear. She plasters the bulletin board with posters. This is not a drill. Say no to paramilitary neighbors. The HOA calls an emergency meeting, disbands her patrol, and strips her titles. The FBI, meanwhile, hosts a community barbecue on my property, tactical trucks for kids, dad joke telling agents, the works. Karen shows up to protest in a Protect the Peace t-shirt, accusing the caterer of serving the agenda. He hands her a rib plate and says, "Ma'am, I'm just here to grill." Classic. The feds don't mess around. Karen gets a subpoena hand-delivered on a sunny Tuesday. Charges? Trespassing on restricted government property, obstruction, falsifying records, coercion, the works. They've got video, audio, Bob's affidavit laying out her whole plan. She calls an HOA meeting to clear the air. Only 2 people show up, one with pizza. Her Ring doorbell rant about a federal smear campaign goes viral, over 1 million views. In court, she represents herself, strutting in with a too-big pantsuit and a briefcase full of HOA newsletters. She claims jurisdictional immunity as commander, tries to hand the judge a laminated badge. He deadpants. This isn't a garage sale. Her defense is a train wreck, arguing my property wasn't clearly marked. It was, then saying my tactical boots intimidated people. She cross-examines an agent about lawn mowing. The prosecution plays the breach footage. Karen shouting, "Go, go, go," like she's storming Normandy. The judge sighs. You're making their case for them. After 3 days of delusional theater, she's sentenced. 6 months house arrest, 1 year probation, mandatory safety courses taught by the agents she tried to arrest, and a 10-year HOA leadership ban. She mutters, "I'll be back," as she's escorted out. The bailiff just says, "Please don't." The neighborhood exhales. No more flyers about imaginary cartels. The HOA adds the Karen clause. No enforcement without proper authority. I fix my door, a titanium beast engraved with, "This property is used for federal training. Enter without permission and meet the team." Snacks available on request. Kids love it during trick-or-treating. Karen stuck at home, watching from behind her screen door as the community moves on. I nod politely once while walking my dogs. She glares, silent, powerless. But I'm not done. The FBI turns her fiasco into a case study for a new outreach program. Lines not to cross. We hosted at my place, coffee, chairs, and a big screen replaying Karen's raid in HD. HOA leaders statewide watch her yell at my coffee maker and laugh. It goes viral again when HOA goes rogue. Memes flood the internet. My favorite? Her vest captioned, "Commander of Bad Decisions." Karen didn't kick down my door. She opened it for everyone to see what happens when ego trumps reason. She thought she was defending the neighborhood, but she endangered it. Her fake badges and glittery vests couldn't outrank real authority. Now, she's a cautionary tale, a YouTube legend in khakis, while I lock my new door and smile. The drills go on, the community thrives, and I got snacks ready for anyone with clearance. As for Karen, she's out of moves, out of power, and out of my way. That's the thing about real ownership. Doors can be replaced, but lessons like this stick forever.